Okay, thank you. Got a lot to get through today. In the next 5 hours, yes, it's that long until we get to the bar. Before I sit down and shut up, I'm delighted to introduce to you our guest speaker this afternoon, Ben Edmonds, a name known to some, who is a multi-patented or patented, I'm not sure how to say that word, inventor, problem solver, and motivational speaker, who is widely regarded as a leading voice on innovation and creative thinking. Now, I had to do a little bit of research for this, and Ben came up to me just shortly and said, "How are you going to introduce me? I've got Ben's credentials here. I've done my homework." So he is principal engineer and new product innovator, heading up the future of environmental care at Dyson Technology. Dyson, their name you all know. Ben has lectured on brainstorming and innovation, prototyping methods for innovation, and product design, not only at Dyson Institute of Engineering Design, but Lund University in Sweden, Portsmouth University, and currently teaches product design at the University of Gloucester. Oh, and by his own admission, believe it or not, he loves cardboard. Yeah, so we'll hear a little bit more about that. So please, can we give Ben a rousing SPA welcome?
Hello, folks. Cool, hopefully this is working. I'm a bit of a pacer, so I've got the microphone. Do I love cardboard? Damn right I do. Hopefully that should come across in this. And I do many things. So you will have heard of Dyson, that's my day job. But I only do 4 days a week there. On Fridays, I've been lecturing recently at Gloucester University. Some years ago, I accidentally started a national kids club teaching kids innovation and problem solving. And one of your members, GWP, have been helping me fantastically by supplying me free cardboard to inspire the next generation of innovators. Just a quick show of what I'm trying to do is that we don't make anything anymore as kids, right? Everything's become digital, everything's the metaverse. And it's really, really important that we get kids making stuff. So what GWP and I are trying to do is get kids making, building, creating, using tangible things. And what all of you do is make physical products, which is great. So I thought I'd show you some of the products that I've made. Let's see if the old clicky doodle works. Do we need to turn him on? Or he is on? It should work. Someone tested the clicky thing. Is it the wrong way around? Does it go that way? Oh no. Failure immediately. It'll be worth the wait, I promise you. I'll give you a little prelude. We have the world's most silly Christmas party on the planet. More shout outs to GWP. They supply all of our cardboard. Their sales of cardboard ramp up massively in around November because it comes in for us to make costumes out of. Last year, somebody went as, in fact, an entire team went as beer taps, and their beer taps were 5 meters tall and supplied genuine beer out of a keg. I can push the button, or you can push the button, or I can just tell you to push buttons. We tested everything but this bit.
It was working fine, I think.
Are we good? We good?
I think Kate is going to advance them for you guys.
Oh, you are you? Okay. Then I get to say slide. Here we go. This is my Christmas party costume, circa 2019. Entirely made out of cardboard. And also my children's ride-on BMW Mini, which had been in the garden for way too long. So I stripped all the motor out of it, and I was motorised. I've got a camera at the front and a TV screen inside so I can see where I'm driving. And importantly, for later on in the evening, there's also a beer holder in there too. A lot of your cardboard turns into a box, but boxes can turn into magical things if you know what to do with it. And this was, I didn't even win a prize. Livid, absolutely livid. Right, but more seriously, slide. Slide again, this is going to get, there's a lot of transitions. Your finger's going to be aching. At Dyson, we use cardboard as an accelerator. So I could sit today and spend 8 hours CADing something, send for some prototypes. Luckily, we do it all in-house. It's going to take a week to turn up. We'll spend 2 days building it, another couple of days testing it, and in a couple of weeks to 3 weeks' time, we'll find out if it's the right thing to do. Or I'll build it today. I'll go to the bins, I'll get the old vacuum cleaner out, I'll half-inch a couple of bits off that, I'll get the cardboard out. Cardboard's amazing, right? We will build all of our early stage prototypes out of cardboard because how big does it want to be? How heavy does it want to be in somebody's hands? Can I put it in your hands today? Yes, I can. I got challenged one day, can you make a prototype for this review with James? You've got 45 minutes. Damn right I did. Made 2 prototypes and they were fully functioning and articulating. And in that moment, it's so much more powerful than him trying to imagine what's in my brain. Okay? In the daytime, I've made a little video for you. Let's go slide. This is what I do with kids. All cardboard. Early in my presentation, before I was working through it, I did this whole thing about boxes and how technical they are, and I think it's teaching you guys to suck eggs. You know the technicalities that go into your product and how amazing they are. General public see it as waste. Turns up, goes in the bin. I see it as magic. I can put that into a kid's hands and show them what to do with it, and we're innovating, we're creating, we're making, we're building. And I'm always going to sing the praises of doing that because it's absolutely game-changing. Right, let's move on. So this is going to get tiresome. Just hit the button 3 times. Yeah, I don't know your pain points, I don't know your inefficiencies, and I don't know any of your numbers, but slide. Fun. What I do know is that innovation for me is a way of life, right? It's the lens through which I see every single opportunity. I use it in my day job, I use it in my family life, I use it with my kids. It's everything that I do, and I've been doing it since I was a little tiny kid, dressed in cardboard as a knight with a full helmet and suit of armour at the age of 5. And over my 20-year career, older than I look, I have learned many things. And so I want to talk to you about 3 key things today. They're people, culture, and place. Slide. In fact, hit it one more time. This is going to be really fun. Here's the thing. The right people with the right culture in the right place can achieve immeasurably more. So what are we doing about that? Hit the button. We really should have got that working. Anyway, here's the thing. What is creativity? People expect that creativity is the creativity department, the ivory tower. There they are, up the stairs, hidden away. But actually, everybody's creative. Every single person in this room is creative. You do creative stuff every day of the week. It's not solely reserved for people that can paint a picture or draw a diagram. There are absolute ninjas in Excel. It's not me, it's other people. But what you do is creativity. We just need to readdress it in our minds and what it is. And I think when we believe that we are creative, then we have a voice to be creative in what we do. Right? It's not just about turning up to work and just doing the thing that you've always done. Every day can be a creative day. Every day can be an innovative day, and you'll know loads of stuff. Right, let's move on that basis. So, if we're going to focus on people, let's get the right people in our business. There are some people that you will know that have been in your business forever. They're literally part of the furniture. They know everything there is to know about the thing that you do. So then let's get some people in that know nothing about that, right? Call me crazy, but actually that's exactly what we do at Dyson. In the early stages, we get graduates in. They're young, they're fresh, they've got great ideas, but if you can team them in the right way with the right people that have been there forever, they will approach that situation with ideas that that person had never thought of, because that's the way we've always done it, right? And we need to be getting more diverse, okay? Let's look across the room. Yeah, mostly white blokes, right? We need to get more diverse in our intake of people that we get. We need to be thinking more outside the box. If we miss out on females in engineering, we miss out on 50% of the ideas that could change the game, the world, everything you're doing. I'm a dad of 3 girls, I'm always going to be on that soapbox. So we need to get the right people into our business, creative thinking people. We need to be pulling people from areas that we didn't even expect to get them. When we were kids, the geeks weren't very cool. There was always the cool kids, the jocks, or whatever the UK equivalent is. But these days, those people who were geeks then are ruling the world. That whole world has changed. So finding those people, finding those creative thinking people and bringing them into your business is going to be absolutely vital. But slide. If we get those people in there, how do we know that they are acting at the best of their abilities? I don't know if any of you have ever done any of this before or if this is absolutely gobbledygook. But we do many of these things at work. My favourite one is called the Insights Colour Wheels. This is where you basically answer loads and loads of questions. Everybody's going to answer them differently. And it will tell you your personality type. And there are loads of personality types. And it turns out that if you have a team, if you get the right people in that team, you can achieve more. So why aren't we working hard to make our teams more efficient and more innovative? We just kind of hope for the best. They're free, put them on the project, let's see what happens. It wasn't very good. Why not? Because there were two reds, right? I'm by my own admission a screaming yellow. I'm a visionary. There's a reason I'm standing up on here and I enjoy this kind of thing. A lot of people hate it, but that's because I'm a yellow. I'm a visionary, right? Don't get me to do spreadsheets or admin. I'm terrible at it, absolutely hopeless. But get me on stage, get me in front of 140 people, and when the world changes at Dyson and the winds shift and I have to take those 140 people on the next journey down this direction because the project just got canned, I can do that. But equally, I need the red person. I need the person that's good at bulldozing through stuff. I need the analytical person. I need all of those people. So what are we doing with our staff right now, today, this week, next week, in the next month, to work out if we've got the right people doing the right jobs? I don't know. Let's move on. We seem to find people who are amazing at engineering, incredible at widgets and bits of plastic, and go, do you know what you'll be good at? People. Off you go, here's your team. And then we destroy them, and then they leave. Stop doing that. Find people that are good at people. Find the people and allow them to look after people, and allow the people who are amazing at the widgets and the gadgets and the things to do exactly that. Don't force them to do a job they don't want to do. Let's move on. So, we might have some great people, but have we got the right culture? The thing is, if you put people in the wrong place with the wrong culture, the toxic culture, again, you destroy them and they leave. So what sort of things do we need to make the right culture? Let's move on. License to fail. You're going to have to keep me to time. I'm probably going to go over. I'm sorry, not sorry. But my mum is an artist. And when I was 5, I drew around my hand and I was cutting it out and doing a fairly shoddy job. And I said to my mum, you're going to do a brilliant job. Can you cut that out for me? And she said, I can. I'm not going to. You're going to do it. I'm like, no, but it's rubbish. She goes, you've got to start somewhere. If we are innovating, we have to be allowed to fail. This is not about getting 10 out of 10, 100% first time every time, because if you're truly innovating and you're getting it right first time, you're not trying hard enough. That's genuinely true. Okay? So if we are going to have areas of our business that are about innovation, they have to be allowed to fail. They have to be allowed to try stuff that you think is mental, but if they think it's the right thing to do, they have to have license to be able to do that. That's literally my job. I get paid to fail every single day of my life. Next one. Okay, I'm an engineer. I love a graph. Let's hit the button. There are many buttons to hit here. Are we up? Are we working? We're on. Oh, your finger's going to thank me later. Right. Yes, I'm an engineer, so I like a graph. Here we go. So it's a graph of understanding versus ideas. Now, here's the thing. People like an argument on social media, don't they? That's because words mean different things to different people. Everybody arrives at their situation in life with a completely different experience. And people end up in mad arguments on social media because somebody reads it in a way that was never expected or intended to be read. Because those words mean something different to you. But actually, if I could explain it with a picture, now we're talking, right? I'm not talking a good picture. My sketchbook is down there and it's full of absolute nonsense. This is not artistry. It's about communicating what's in my head. None of us are telepathic. What's in my head means something completely different to you if I explain it. And whilst words are powerful, words and pictures are amazing. But words and pictures in a model, now we're talking. So if you can take words and pictures and make something, even if you're thinking about a new production line, right? How are you going to lay it out? What's it going to look like? You could talk about it for hours, but actually let's get a couple of cardboard boxes and lay it out, and it's going to kind of be like this, and there's gangways to walk through here, and it's a tangible thing. And that tangible thing in somebody else's hand, they can now pick it up and turn it around and flip it, cut it apart, put it back together again, and show it back to you in a way that you never would have thought if it wasn't physical. And better than that, my team are now CADing stuff real time on an iPad with a pencil, and in a couple of hours, a couple of minutes, they're sending me models which I can then represent in real time because Apple now has natively AR embedded in it. I can get a virtual item, put it on this stage, look at it with my iPad, zoom around it, zoom into it, approve it, write it down and send it back. And then I'll make it this afternoon out of cardboard, because I can. And then we've got the right decision. We know where we're going today, not in, one day, a couple of years' time. So there we go. I think that's a really good model. I don't know what you guys know about the theatre. I'll tell you a quick story. My kids were doing some Amdram stuff years ago, and we were doing Susical the Musical. I don't know if you've been to see it, but it's completely mental. So I was helping out. I always help out. I built the Little Shop of Horrors in my living room. It was an 8-metre long shop. It was quite elaborate. But this time we're building a set, and there's a bath, and we're painting it bright red because it's Susical. Ben got, the other guy I was working with was called Ben, we got 50% through painting the bath, and he's like, right, we're done. Like, no, we're not. What about the rest of it? He goes, no, that's the only bit they can see. Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. Okay. So sometimes we need to do just enough to get someone to see what is in our head. I do this all the time at work. It comes back to that words and pictures thing. If I can put something physically in front of you so you can understand what it is I'm talking about, you're going to have a much better conversation. If we're still talking in words, you're imagining something different in your brain to what I'm imagining in mine. So the theatre's a great one for this because they're absolute ninjas at doing this. Behind that set will be hopes and dreams holding that thing up, I suspect. Okay, sometimes I think we need to switch your focus. So this product, which I launched a week and a half ago. So I ran this project at Dyson from 2017 to 2020. Things take a really long time to launch, but obviously we had a pandemic. Now, what we used to do was make a product, and at the last minute we go, ooh, wouldn't it be nice if some was recycled? And then we go, oh, bit late now, we'll make maybe that one bit, or we'll do the box, that's fine, we've got that covered. But actually we changed the game with this project. We said, this project is 100% recycled, convince me why it can't be. Now, at launch, 38.8% of that product is recycled resin. And obviously all the packaging is completely recycled and recyclable, which is very exciting. We never would have got to that point if we hadn't made that conscious decision in the first place. Now, I know that a lot of what you guys are working with is already highly sustainable, but what about your processes? What about your next production line? What about your next factory you're going to build? Consider it differently. 100% of it needs to be renewable. Tell me why it can't be. This is more just a bit of an interesting challenge for you guys. What are you doing about AI right now? Right? I used to say to my students, one day there'll be something that doesn't exist today that will change the game. When I was a kid, the internet didn't exist, and now it does. All of your business are directly related to it, and now AI is here and it's advancing on an hourly basis, not week by week. So how are you using AI today? Because we're already embracing, we're already using it at Dyson. We've been doing machine learning for a long time, but actually we're now innovating the way we design and create and build, and I'm doing this with 11-year-olds too. My students are all over the country. I've got online students, and they are using ChatGPT to be able to create code, to be able to run Arduino, to be able to control stepper motors. You can now upload abilities to your brain that you previously have never done. I have never done software. I have never done electronics. I am teaching children how to do precisely that. It's exciting. I'm interested to know. Talk to me later in the coffee break when we're allowed coffee. Right, you can have the right people, you can have an incredible culture, but what position are you putting them in? Where are they working? Right? If a flower doesn't grow, is it the flower's fault? You know that flower can grow. You know it's capable of growing, and yet is it withering and dying? I don't know. I talk about this a lot. What if one day can you have today? And I've got quite a good explanation for it. The thing is, we often dream of, oh, one day we'll have this factory, and one day we'll have that, and one day we'll have this. But actually, you can have some of that now. Let me tell you a quick story. Welcome to my living room. In 2019, I have a very understanding wife. My kids wanted a dance studio. I've got 3 daughters. We lived in a rented house, believe it or not, and I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, but they wanted a dance studio. What I did have was a spare room. I reckon most of your spare rooms are full of nonsense. And just before someone comes to stay, you hurriedly tidy it up and stick it in that wardrobe and hope they don't open the door. Right? So I thought, well, let's use that more suitably. So I took the bed out, put down some wooden floor, put some mirrors up, put a ballet bar down. We've got a dance studio. Is it the best dance studio ever? No. Is it a sprung floor? No. But can they walk in it and use it today? Yes, they can. And it cost a grand total of about 130 quid. Where did the bed go? Well, it's in that box. I had to put it somewhere. So I'm like, well, what the bloody hell am I going to do with this? I built a box around it. I turned it into my workshop, which was also a photographic studio, which is also where I teach kids, which was also half of my living room, which I split off with a bamboo fence. That's my car, that's 1.7 metres long on the wall, and that was my laser cutter. I could have bought a car. Quite frankly, I really needed a car. It's got 4 wheels and it costs the same amount of money. But that has allowed me to innovate and create and build. And actually, during the pandemic, we created over 800 face shields for healthcare workers. I kitted out the COVID ward in Great Western Hospital. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Now, your place might look like this. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. There seems to be an emphasis these days on minimalism. We create these lovely working spaces. They're pretty and they're white. The floor's grey. I think they're pretty boring. Okay, I actually really love a factory. I've just got back from Malaysia and Vietnam. I love a factory. It's my favourite place to be. I saw that machine and went straight over to it. I want to talk to whoever about it later. I just love mechanisms. I love machinery. We need to do better. If we want to create innovative ideas and innovative people, put them in an innovative place. Don't put them in a white box. There's nothing to see there. What I would do if this was my place, I want a wall of oddities, a wall of curiosities. I want to get a Furby and do an autopsy on it and put it on the wall and have it fully functioning. I want to take the last machine you had and do an exploded view of it and point out all the things that went wrong with it. I want to take the cardboard stuff you do and blow it up real scale. I want to be able to see all the bits and pieces. Inspire your people with the place that they are in. They're going to be infinitely more innovative. Fundamentally, do what you can with what you've got where you are. And you can do that today. So I thought I'd just quickly wrap up with some bullet points. My wife loves bullet points. She doesn't see in pictures. But this, embrace diverse teams. Bring people into your business that you didn't expect to bring in the first place. Find the weirdos, find the geeks, find the ones that think differently, and you're going to create new innovations you never thought was possible. Understand your people and help them to understand themselves. Get your people to look after the people and allow specialists to actually specialise and stop them from not doing the job that they were there to do in the first place. Spend time with different teams. I was the first person to go down to the production line at my first job. They said to me, "You lost?" No, I've come to see what you're doing. And I'm like, "Why?" Well, because we're up in the ivory tower designing stuff at your building. And they're like, "Oh, no one's ever done this before." I'm like, "Well, today's the first day." Rolled up my sleeves, got stuck in. The first week, I saved them 30,000 quid because one of their processes was mental. I went straight back upstairs and changed the design. Really easy. So spend time with other teams and you will think differently. Exercise your creative muscles as much as you possibly can. Have you done a hackathon? Have you done a competition? There are people that you work with that do weird stuff outside of work. Allow them to bring their weird stuff in and do an exhibition. Do competitions, do something. At lunchtime, you could just eat lunch or you could be sharing your skills and passions. There are some people that you work with that do incredible things. They might be amazing at laying bricks or, I don't know, doing weird stuff at home. Get them to come and showcase that thing at lunchtime, right? We can be and we can create more innovative and inspiring places to want to work. Use the words, pictures and models methodology as soon as possible because you can do it immediately. It's really easy. Often places I've worked, this isn't necessarily the same for everywhere, but often the design office is somewhere so far away from the workshop, there is no incentive to want to go there. And actually, sometimes as businesses, we create barriers. There was one place I worked where you had to get a key to get into the workshop, to get the key, to go and get the tools, to go and take back to the workshop. It's like, and you wonder why nobody made anything, we had problems. Anyway, curate your space and cycle the content. Bring stuff in that's amazing and interesting and weird and wonderful. Stuff that you bought at the car boot sale at the weekend or whatever, right? And fundamentally, get out of the office. It's wonderful to see you all here. It's really good. We've stopped flying anywhere because of COVID and things like that, but actually getting out, going to conferences, going to a conference that isn't directly related to your industry, you will find new ideas you hadn't thought of, right? You're looking for those tenuous links. Right, quick challenge for you all. Next week, you're going to create an area in your business which is all about a challenge a week. Put somebody in charge of it. They need to come up with a challenge a week, and if they can't think of one, I bet there's somebody in your business that is really annoyed with something, and then have people fix it. Have people write on a whiteboard. It's going to cost you practically no money, but you're going to be immediately getting people to be creative and exercising that muscle. There we go, that's me. Out of interest, did anybody notice which of those images was created by AI? Ooh, There we go. I don't know how long I've been, but apparently there's questions.
Yeah, if you like. So to ask Ben some questions, please do. He's here all day, by the way.
Yeah.
The living room.
Yeah.
The living room was created by AI.
Nope, that was actually my living room. You should have seen it when I turned it into a jungle. We brought in a guy called Jonathan Jungle who had actual millipedes, tarantulas and spiders and horrendous things, and I would strip all the furniture out and I turned the whole thing into a jungle. I turned the local village hall into a spaceship. As soon as the doors were shut, the kids were in a spaceship. You can make magic happen if you want to. I turned the local forest into Alice in Wonderland. Spent 3 months walking a path through there, bought every teacup and saucer from every charity shop in a 30-mile radius and hung them from all the trees. Innovation doesn't have to be expensive. We're going to talk about that later. Innovation does not have to be expensive. Yeah.
I think AI is going to stop innovation. It's going to be make people lazy.
People are already lazy, so we don't have to stop that. No, I think any of these things are tools. Anything is a tool, and in the right hands can be incredible, and in the wrong hands can be devastating. A car in the wrong hands can drive into a crowd of people and kill them. A car in the right hands can win a race, whatever. Does it make people lazy? It will make some people lazy, but as I say, I think people are already lazy. For me, it's a tool. I, as I said before, have not got a background in electronics and software, and literally 2 days ago, well, what day are we now? Monday. Friday, I was CADing rigs and I was coding them, and they are being tested by my team at an external partner today, and I coded it using ChatGPT. Everything's a tool. Yeah. Yep.
Most of my kids, none of them are technical, and I am from that background. None of my kids are, and none of their friends are either. We're all doing business with some of this.
Yeah, I bet.
How do you get kids to take interest in something more creative than being a business admin?
If only somebody would write. Are they at primary school, secondary school?
Well, they're one's in university.
Oh, right, okay, long since gone. Okay. There are many things you could do. There are many things I'm doing. I'm writing a primary school curriculum at the moment that I'm going to gift to the entire nation, because we're not doing enough. Our schools are failing our children, not because of the schools, because of the education system, because of what the government prioritise. Kids love a challenge. The most important thing that we can teach our kids is how to solve problems. The most important thing, because we have no idea what's going to happen. I was sat in a TV studio before the pandemic. I did a stupid TV show on Channel 4. Talk to me about it later. And I said on that day, we don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's going to happen. We were in the middle of Brexit at that time, and it was just chaos happening. And just around the corner was COVID. And then for some people, the world stopped. And for other people, they're like, well, I'm going to have to diversify immediately. A brewery near us started making sanitizer. They had the equipment to be able to do it. A different person would have been like, well, I can't make beer, and I was going to buy it. That person was like, diversify. For kids, kids love a challenge. Kids love a challenge. If you tell them, bet you can't run to that tree and back, they definitely will. We need to spend more time challenging our kids and getting them to think. Mindset is literally the most important thing, because we have no idea what's going to happen. The rate of change for AI and everything at the minute, we simply don't know what's going to happen in 1 year's time, let alone in 10 years' time. Yeah.